Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right. So you're going to see on the LED lit screen or LCD, it will say channel 1 and just a random frequency that is plugged in. That's how it's going to happen every time you go to program your radio. You're going to have channel 1. All your channels are going to have random frequencies. So the first thing we want to do is program our TeamNet. Since there's only 2 of y'all, we're just going to stick with Alpha Fire Team. To do that, we need to clear out the random frequency. So we're going to click the CLR button. Now you have a fucking blinking cursor with nothing. At this point, we're going to put in Alpha Team frequency, which is 100.1. Now we need to set that in. You're going to hit the ENT. And if you hover over all these buttons that do work, you'll see what they mean. So ENT is set frequency. That blinking cursor goes away. Now we have channel 1 has the frequency 100.1 programmed to it. So if you were to monitor this frequency, when somebody keys up, you will hear that frequency in both ears, like so. So this is Alpha TeamNet. Well, we're going to take this a step further. Since one or both y'all could possibly be team leading at some point between today, well, not today, but day 2 and day 4 and day 3, I'm going to show you how to set up an alternate channel. 99% of the time, when you first get billeted, this right here will be sufficient. But I want to give you the best chance possible to succeed, so I am going to show you how to do an alternate channel along with this channel. So the alternate channel that we're going to set up along with the TeamNet, or the team frequency, is going to be the squad frequency. So these radios give us the option or the ability to monitor 2 frequencies. So right now, we just have 1 frequency. We're going to press the positive plus symbol on the PRE. That will bring us up to channel 2 with a random frequency. We're going to clear that out. And then we're going to plug in our squad frequency, which is 100. Press enter. Now our squad net is set to channel 2. Well, there's a few things that we need to do before we are finished. So right now, even though we have both frequencies programmed in, we can only monitor one at a time because they are both primary channels. In order to listen to 2 channels or 2 frequencies at once, you need to make one an alternate. Most people here will make this channel 2 an alternate channel. To do so, they have the left facing arrow at the bottom of the radio. If you hover over it, it says set additional channel. Click that once. The C2 now turns into an A2. Now we're getting one more step closer. Before we can start monitoring both these channels or both these frequencies, we need to break up each channel into different ears. Trust me when I say if you don't break up the 2 radio frequencies you're listening to into 2 different ears and separate ears, it will fucking drive you crazy. So just for how I do it is the way I teach it. You're free to change it once you get familiar with it. But The first frequency we plugged in, which is C1, that's going to be our primary frequency, our primary channel. A2 is now an alternate. So I like to listen to channel 1 in my left ear and alternate channel 2 in my right ear. In order to do that, we need to press the stereo settings. So you got apostrophe, parentheses, excuse me, at the very bottom left. And we need to hit that twice. So if you look at the bottom, it will say right channel, right ear. I can't even talk straight. Should say alternate frequency right ear. Did that happen for both people? Alright. So right now this is going to transmit in our right ear. We can drop back down to channel 1, hit the negative on the PRE, and we're just going to click stereo settings once. And now channel 1 is going to be in our left ear. Now to key up each frequency or each channel,
you're going to use caps lock for your primary channel, which is channel 1, which is your team net. And this is going to be squad net, or your alternate frequency, your alternate channel.
So you should have heard the first one I talked to was in your left ear. Second time I keyed up was in your right ear. That worked for both?
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, so you should hear me in your left ear right now. And you should hear me in your right ear.
What do you hear me? Let me get away from her. Alright.
So do you hear me right now?
Did you hear me? Over the radio? Alright, so task force radio is on. Try talking to me, hold down caps lock, and say something. Now. Alright. Get out of your seat, come over here, and drop your radio for me, please. Yeah.
Sergeant Smith, Sergeant McCoy, ready to check on 100.1 over.
Liver Charlie 100.1 over.
I am going to keep this radio since that's the one you programmed, and I'm going to give you the one I programmed. Pick it up off the ground. Try that again. Alright. Press caps lock and see if you can key it up with me. No. Alright, I am fucking clueless. Anybody else has an answer for this?
Did you put it in the actual radio spot and not in your backpack?
Yes, that's good. Yes, Sergeant. Yeah, try to refrain from the yes and all that good shit. Yes, Sergeant. No, Sergeant. Alright,
Key
shit.
volumes might be different then.
Alright, so how did you normally key up your radio? Did you change keybinds?
And I cannot hear him over here, by the way. He's probably on whisper.
No, he says he didn't do anything with his keybinds.
Oh.
Sergeant,
Yes.
there's a bunch of fresh radios in that box over there. Maybe if he grabs a fresh one.
We could try.
Sometimes
Where's
issues
the team
when
speak.
Come try over
here.
here.
Go into inventory, click on it, drag, radio have, out. There you go, and drag one in. And set it up, and let's see if we can make it work.
Radio check 100.1.
You might just have the dead battery problem, Sergeant.
Yeah, anybody have a fix for that? Because I am...
I would say
Restart his radio.
yeah, go ahead and restart your TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
Sorry to break immersion. Just restart your TeamSpeak and rejoin the channel. See if that fixes it.
There you go, this is a perfect example of not breaking immersion.
User disconnected from your channel. User joined your channel.
There we go.
Radio, there we go. Radio check 100.0.
Alright. Alright, good shit. Whenever it's just a full number, there's no decimal. Don't go 0.0. Just, stop it there. Like, squad net will be 100. Alright.
Sorry.
Alright. Thank you, sergeants, for helping me out there. I've actually never had to deal with that problem before. Myself. But then again. Alright. We're gonna get into doing a proper radio check. Make sure everybody on a team squad is on the right frequencies. I don't want to go into a combat zone with fucking poor to no communication. But we're going to go over some phonetic numbers and pro words to use over the radio. Phonetic numbers, we use 3 of them. We use 1 through 9, 0, just like anybody. But there are 3 numbers that are said differently so that if need be, our first communication, our first transmission will be heard correctly. These 3 numbers are 3, 5, and 9. And they are said like so. 3 is said like the thing that grows out of the ground with fucking branches. So 3 is said like tree. 5 is said like fife. Like that. And last but not least, 9 is said... Computer, stop being fucking retarded. 9 is said like niner. You do not have to use phonetic numbers every time you speak. If me and my battle buddy were in a trench fighting and he can hear exactly what I'm saying without having to use phonetic numbers, you don't have to use them. But when it's something important, a range for an AT shot, a bearing, whatever, and it needs to be sent out right the first time, then use phonetic numbers. So nobody will be like, oh, is that a 3? Was that a 5? There won't be any confusion. Phonetic alphabet, if you want to learn it, it's on Google, on the internet. Just don't look up the civilian phonetic. There's a difference between civilian and military. We don't use the phonetic alphabet too often. Our maps are not set up as exactly the same like the military. We don't have letters and numbers. We just have straight numbers. So now we're going to go over some pro words. Pro words help out with brevity. Brevity is having short, clear, concise communication over the radio. So if you think about it, you have more than one person working on, utilizing a frequency. Just as a team, you have 4 members utilizing that one team net. So imagine 4 people trying to talk over each other at once, or how long a communication can get if they start using it like they were on a fucking telephone. So whenever we're on using a radio, we want to have clean, short, concise communications. So first and foremost, every time you key up that radio, you're going to use the pro word, this is. So an example is if I was to call up to Sergeant Smith on a radio, I would use the pro word, this is. So it's Sergeant Smith, this is Sergeant Margiotta, over. Just like that, every time you key up, it is you, this is me. The next pro word is over. Over, if you think about throwing a football. Somebody has the football, they're allowed to talk. As soon as they say over, it's now the football is thrown to the other person, and now they're free to talk. This helps us with over talking somebody else. You know, while they're trying to get their communication out, the last thing you need is somebody to fucking chime in and start talking over them. So we gotta wait our turn. That's what pro word is used for. Over. So make sure if that communication is going back and forth, that transmission is going back and forth, you use over. If you don't say over, the person on the other side is just gonna fucking sit there waiting for you to finish your transmission. So remember, brevity. Say what you need to say over, and let them come back with what they need to say. Next pro word is out. Out is, I would say 80% of the time, well, 95% of the time, out is going to be done by the person that initiated that transmission. So if I initiated that transmission with Sergeant Smith, and we finished with what we needed to talk to each other about, I would say, Sergeant Smith, this is Sergeant Margiotta, out, copy out, whatever I need to say before out. Now, as soon as the pro word out is used, that lets everybody on that frequency know that it's time, that the frequency is clear. Now somebody who else needs to talk can fucking key up and create a binary communication with somebody else. And as long as they are saying over, they have control over that net. As soon as they say out, whoever else needs to use it is free to use it. So as long as over is being said, don't fucking overtalk somebody. Now there is a pro word at the end of this list that I am going to go over with you, that if there's something stupid important that is superseding what is going on right now over the comms, there's a pro word to break in on that frequency and take control. But most of the time, you're not going to overtalk on somebody's frequency if it's not as important. If somebody has a boo-boo or whatnot, that doesn't constitute fucking emergency traffic. Don't use over and out. I know I see that crap a lot in the movies. It's fucking wrong. As I stated, over and out mean two completely different things. Next pro word is break. Think of this as a period or a comma in your sentences. You're sending a lot of information on a radio. You're being as brevity as possible, but that transmission is going to be long-winded no matter what you do. So you give the person on the other end fucking time to digest it. You don't just say you this is B and then fucking unload all the information you have as fast as possible onto that person. It's just gonna make for fucking bad communication. So the way you use the pro word break is you this is me. Well, for example, if I see enemy contact and I am sending up information to Sergeant Smith. So I could start with Sergeant Smith, this is Sergeant Margiotta, over. Sergeant Smith will come back with Sergeant Margiotta, this is Sergeant Smith, send your traffic over. So at that point I know he's ready. I would come back with Sergeant Smith, this is Sergeant Margiotta. Be advised, I have enemy fire team bearing, let's just say 180 degrees break. At that point, I let go of the mic key. I rekey it and come back with range 450 meters over. So by using break in just that example, it lets him pass on that information, but it also lets you get a range. So if it's something that happened quick, you already have through 2 to 3 Ds for contact. Just give me a second. I'm having a brain fart here. For a contact report, we're going to go over that on another day, but I'm just using an example. The easiest one to use. So, giving him a description of what enemy it is, or how much it is. So I said what enemy fire team, and I gave him the bearing, so I gave him a description and degrees, and I broke the transmission to let him digest that, and I came back with a range. So right there is the 3Ds, distance, description, and direction. So, if you have a lot to say, or you need your fucking brain to catch up with your mouth, use the probe word break. Remember, when you use it, let go of the key, and then rekey the mic and finish what you need to say. At that point, you're still talking, so you don't need to say, you, this is me. You still haven't said over. So, as soon as you let go of the key and you key back up, just finish or keep going with what you're trying to send over the frequency. Next one is wait over. Actually, I'm going to lump these two together. It is wait over and wait out. Those are two frequencies, two pro words to use if you're too busy to respond. Now, the degree in which you are too busy dictates what pro word you're going to use. If you know you will come back within 30 seconds or so, use the pro word wait over. By using wait over, you still regain control of that frequency, but you're letting the other person know that you need a little time before you can respond, which is perfectly fine. I'd rather somebody say that they're a little busy and they need a few seconds to respond. And all that is said by using the pro word wait over. A hell of a lot better than no response at all. I would have to say out of the three of us, Sergeant Smith probably has the harder time dealing with that because he has another 9 men that he is looking over. And when he doesn't get a fucking answer back on the radio because they are too busy, all kind of shit starts going through his head. You know, are they fucking down? Are they being captured? You know, you start expecting the worst, thinking the worst. And that just kills the momentum of everything he's trying to do. When he's got to fucking switch gears and start worrying about his guys that aren't fucking responding, that screws a lot of stuff up. So, use the pro word wait over if it's going to be at least 30 seconds or no more than 30 seconds while you respond. And make sure that it's not going to take more than 30 seconds or so, because you still have control of the net, and you don't want to fucking bog the net down with fucking silent air when somebody else can be using it. So this is where the other pro word comes in, which is wait out. If you know you're going to be more than 30 seconds, you're going to be like closer to the minute range, just say, you, this is me, wait out. That right there, let whoever you're
User
talking
joined
to.
Your channel.
Wait one. Recruits. You're in the wrong classroom. Of course you can't hear me. Alright. So, if you know you're going to be longer than a minute, use wait out. That frees up the frequency and lets the person know that you're too busy and you'll get back with them after a minute or so.
User left your channel.
Is that all making sense to y'all, gentlemen?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. All right. Next pro word is Roger. Roger simply means I have received your last transmission and understand it. That's all Roger means. I have received your last transmission, and I understand it. It doesn't require any action. It's not saying that I got it and I'm going to go take care of. If somebody told you to go do something, you're going to use a completely different pro word. But if somebody says, there's enemy movement, blah, 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 you would say, Roger, because you understood what they said. And so I'm not going to beat dead horse. That's what Roger is. Next pro word is Wilco. Wilco is abbreviated for will comply. So Wilco takes Roger a step further. Not only does Wilco mean that I have received your last transmission and I understand it, Wilco takes it to the next level with I will comply. So if I was told to move my fire team to a certain location, I wouldn't say Roger. I would say, this is me, Wilco, over. And right there, my squad leader fucking knows that I understood what she was saying and that it's fucking taken care of, and she doesn't have to worry that we're not, if we're fucking sitting there or whatever. All these are fucking meant for brevity and to shorten communications up and get to precisely what needs to be said. Next one is a biggie. Next one is say again. Get out of your vocabulary the fucking word repeat. Repeat is a pro word reserved for 11 Charlie, which is Mortimer. Repeat is their pro word for repeating a fire mission. Usually the last fire mission that was, doesn't have to be, but it could be. So instead of saying, oh, I didn't hear what you said, can you repeat? Can you repeat it? Don't say that. Use the pro word say again. Just simply say, this is me, say again your last over. And right there, the person that sent the information the first time knows that you didn't catch it. And they're going to send that information again. So just get the word repeat out the vocabulary. I know it's out of mind. I can say for sure the gentlemen standing up here with me are the same. It wasn't like that before I came here. I fucking use the word repeat like a champ in my daily life. Now it's fucking say again. And yeah, I do get some fucking weird looks. All right, next pro word is read back. Read back can be done in two different ways. It can be a something that needs to be done, a request per se from the person that sent information over the net. So if it's important information and they want to make sure that you got it correctly, they can send it. This is me, send information over, and then they could tell you to read back before. Yeah, I kind of said that wrong. Sorry. So if I was telling my fire team to set up security to the southwest and have the AT look in to the south, I would tell them, so and so does Charlie have AT looking this way, and whatever looking that way, read back over. They're going to read back exactly what I said. So it's just a way of double checking, making sure the information that I gave them was heard correctly. And if they read it back correctly to me, then I know it got to them. They heard it right. Now, let's say my squad leader gave me directions and I didn't hear everything. I could use either word pro word say again or tell her to read back the last transmission she said. So it can happen both ways. The person receiving the information can get a readback, or the person sending information can request a readback. Next pro word is correction. Correction is just a simple way of saying that I made a mistake in whatever thing I sent over the radio, and there's a correction. Most of the time, I personally like to say again everything. If I mess something up, I'll fix it and I'll resend the information over again with the correct information inputted, just so there's no fucking confusion on what was corrected. So that's correction. Next pro word is interrogative. Interrogative is requesting confirmation or means you have a question. So if I had a question if I had a question to my squad leader and I asked her, I needed to ask her a question, instead of just saying, this is me, and then fucking going forward and asking her the question, it could be a waste of time. She could shut me down, or when I say over, she could be like, I was too busy, I didn't hear anything you said. So right there, I just wasted my time and her time by saying, this is me, interrogative over. She now has options. Always good to have options. She can either say wait over, wait out, send your information, send your traffic over, and it's just better for everybody. So that's the proper way to use it. Don't just say, this is me, interrogative, and then start with your question. Then that completely does away with the fucking pro word interrogative. Then why even say interrogative? You should have just said, dude, this is me, and fucking start with your question. Next pro word is correct. If somebody's asking you a question and they need some kind of confirmation, if it's right or wrong, just simply use the pro word correct. And that goes with the pro word wrong. If they say something that is wrong, tell them fucking wrong, and then you can come back with, say, this is me, that information is wrong, correction, blah blah blah, over. Always be proactive. If they fucked it up, tell them that it's wrong, and then come back with what's right. Don't just say it's wrong and then let them try to figure out what the fuck was wrong about it. Tell them it was wrong and tell them what the right information is. Last but not least, so this is the pro word that I said a little early before, was the pro word you're going to use if you need to break in on comms traffic. If you have priority fucking traffic, like a fucking MBT or a BMP that fucking rolled up on you because they just had better position and you didn't see it because of fucking cover or buildings, and you need some fucking help quick, and the radio is being used by two other people, and their comms traffic is a lot, or should I say, not as important as yours, you'll use the pro word break, break, break. and both people will shut up, and they will give you control over the comms. The proper way to use it would be break, break, break. You, this is me. Over. So by the time you get to the you, this is me, the comm should be fucking silent, because as soon as they hear break, 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 that's when all communication should cease between those two. So that's all the pro words that we have that we use in our inventory. Do you have any questions?
No, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
All right. Now we're gonna go to the fun part. This is what you're gonna do every single time, at least in OSUT. After you graduate, I don't have Sergeant Smith, and I do not have control over how you will do a radio check. But while you're here, this is the proper way to do it. Hopefully, you don't pick up any bad habits, and you continue doing a proper radio check after you graduate. So I'm going to go over this a few times so you can write it down. So it's going to be you, this is me. Radio check on frequency. We're going to use Alpha Fire Team for right now. So it's going to be you, this is me. Radio check on frequency 100.1 over. That person's going to come back with you, this is me. I have you, Lima Charlie, 5x5. Loud and clear, whatever the fuck you want to say, on frequency 100.1 over. And then person that initiated that radio check will go and say, you, this is me, Roger, out, or copy, out. I'm going to say it one more time. But I'm going to use Sergeant Smith and my name so you can understand where this goes. So I'm going to initiate the radio the frequency check with Sergeant Smith. Start off with Sergeant Smith. This is Sergeant Margiotta. Radio check on frequency 100.1. Sergeant Smith will come back with Sergeant Margiotta. This is Sergeant Smith. I have you, Lima Charlie, on frequency 100.1 over. And I will end it with Sergeant Smith. This is Sergeant Margiotta. Copy, out. Fucking simple as that. Easy peasy. Nothing more, nothing less. And fucking brevity. Any questions? Need to say it again?
No questions, Sergeant.
Excellent. Alright, so privates, I want you to do radio checks with each other. So Private Groti, I want you to do a private radio check with Private Novico.
Call sign, Sergeant, just name.
Just name. You do one with him, and then Private Novico, I want you to do a radio check with me to end it off. So, Private Groti, start it off.
Tracking.
Do it over TeamNet.
Private Novcom, this is Private Grody. Radio check on frequency 100
Nope. Alright, 100. That's squad. We're doing a team. So a team net.
Private Novikov, this is Private Grody. Radio check on frequency 100.0, over.
Nope. So look at your notes. What is Alpha Fire Team frequency?
100.1. Got it.
Alright.
Private Novikov, this is Private Grody. Radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Private Grody, this is Private Novikov, reading you 5x5 on 100.1, over.
Roger, out.
Almost.
Alright.
Everybody forgets that last part. They want to hurry up and finish it off. Remember, you, this is me.
Private Novikov, this is Private Grody. Roger, out.
Excellent. Alright, Private, do one with me.
Sergeant Novikov,
Whoa! Congratulations. Just bossing your balls. You can you can proceed.
Sergeant Margiotta, this is Private Novikov, requesting radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Private Novikov, this is Sergeant Wagiata. I have you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1, over.
Sergeant Margiotta, this is Private Novikov, solid copy, out.
Alright, I try to drop that solid copy. It's just copy out.
Understood.
So, yep, but good. Alright, so y'all got a grasp on it. That is how it's gonna be done. Hopefully, for the rest of your fucking time here at the 506. Just try to teach some of these old dogs here, refresh their memory on how it's done right. But, good shit. Any last questions, comments before I hand you over to Sergeant Smith?
I have one question.
Yep, send it.
Is the radio active when it is not displayed?
Yes. Just something I might have. Sorry, I didn't tell you, but once you have everything programmed frequency-wise, you can hit escape and get it off your screen.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Yep, not a problem. All right, Sergeant Smith, all yours.
Alright, can you gentlemen hear me or no?
Loud and clear, Sergeant.
We hear you.
Stand by. Alright. First off, we will go over your optics. And first thing I always love to go over is the RCO. This specifically right here that you see right now is the M150 RCO. That's my favorite optic that I use for my M4A1. And I will explain to you the reason why. You guys take it off your seat for this time. Come up here. Yep, scroll will stand up and then come to the front. So this RCO is a rifle combat optic, and if you can see up here, yep, up here, grill. There you go. Now, if you notice that the horizontal lines right next to chevron says 468, and all the other horizontal lines within that vertical line, y'all see that?
Tracking, Sergeant.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
you notice how those horizontal lines get smaller as it goes down. Correct? Yes, Sergeant. No, Sergeant.
Understood, Sergeant.
Okay. So you know how if you're in a plane or whatsoever and you're about 20,000 feet up in the sky, every human looks like an ant? Yes, Sergeant. Okay.
Yes, Sergeant.
So let me try to put that into perspective with this. So we all know that the width of of an average average military male is about 19 inches. So I'm sorry, 19 centimeters. So from the left to the right of the shoulder is relatively close to that. So now the further a person is, the much smaller they look like. So let's put all that into perspective with these optics. So within each horizontal line, it will rest in within that approximate distance between the shoulders of the average military male. So if I would rest the 400, or that 4 line, which represents 400 meters, if I rest it on the shoulders of a male, and if it fits within their shoulders, then they're 400 meters. Now, if the line is too big, then that means that the person is a little bit further away. So I will raise my optic a little bit higher to the next horizontal line, until where the horizontal lines fits between the shoulders of the male. Everyone understands from there?
Yes, Sergeant.
So that's a good way to do what? To get a what?
Range, Sergeant.
To get a range of a target, so you don't have to actually bring up your vectors or your binos, because it will at least give you an adequate amount of range for you. So that means that if a target shoots at you, you can shoot at them back while you get the range on the target. Alright, the same thing is with the MGO. However, we don't have actual sight picture of the MGO, so all you see is just the actual, just the body of the MGO, I should say. And then next we have the CCO. So, but first off, that's the MGO right there. Then we have the CCO, Close Combat Optic. The Close Combat Optics comes in various ways, such as your red dot or your aim point. Almost all look the same thing. Most of them are done, I should say, I want to say electronically, but they can be, you can no longer see through the optic if there's an EMP charge that has been displaced or somewhere near that point, to where the magnetic field is disabled from your optic, where you can no longer see through it. And that's the same thing with your compass. Alright, you guys could go back to your seat. Alright, so the RCOs and the MGOs are basically equipped for Pacific weapon systems. Now, in addition to that, the RCO is already automatically has a bullet drop compensator and range capabilities into it, which is why the lines get smaller, allowing you to be able to range out 2 targets if needed be. Now, at the top of the chevron, I need to bring it back up again. 1 second. Now, the top of the chevron of the RCO is 100 meters, so that very tip, the pointing end. Now, between the top of the chevron and below the chevron is 200 meters, and at the bottom of the chevron, where it splits off, is 300 meters. And then that's where you get to 400 meters, and so on and so forth. Any questions with the optics going over?
No, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alright, let's move on towards our organic weapon systems. First off is your M4 carbine. The M4 carbine is the issue weapon for the U.S. Army and is a lightweight, gas-operated, air-cooled, magazine-fed, shoulder-fired weapon. It can be fired in either the automatic or semi-automatic mode. And to switch between those 2 modes, you press your Foxtrot key, or what we like to call the fun key. That's the way you can be able to transition from your automatic or semi-automatic firing mode. Now, the purpose of the weapon is to provide personnel the offensive and defensive capabilities to engage targets in the field at ranges out to 500 meters against a point target and 600 meters against area target. So let me reiterate. Their max effective engagement range on point targets is 500 meters. And then on area targets is 600 meters. Do you guys know what a point target and area target is?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, do you
Yes,
mind
sir.
explaining it then?
Point target is an individual, and area target covers a geographic area.
Almost similar to that, I guess. So we will let's look at these various slides right here. So these 3 screens right in front of us, correct? A point target is a single thing. So if I want y'all to shoot at that screen, you're shooting at a point target. Now, if I saw a screen somewhere around here, correct? If I tell you guys, alright, shoot in this general direction, now you're shooting at an area target. You're not shooting at a specific thing. So let's say shoot around this screen, that's a area target. If I say shoot at this screen, that's a point target. So let me be a little bit more specific. So if I say all of us are lined up in a skirmish line or a line, and all the information is later on today if we have enough time. If I say, if I point at one target, if the entire team or squad fires at that one target, then that's a point target. So such as a bunker. If I point at a bunker and say, alright guys, engage that bunker, that's a point target. Now an area target would be a tree line. If I tell you guys, hey, I'm pointing at a tree line, everyone on my left shoot at the left side, and everyone on my right shoot right side, I'm telling you guys shoot at an area target. Now, there is a point fire and area fire. Since we're shooting at one target, that's point fire. So now we're doing point fire at a point target. If I tell you guys to shoot towards the left of my tracers or where I'm pointing at, and to the right of my tracers or where I'm pointing at, then you guys are engaging in area fire towards an area target. Get what I'm saying from there?
Yes, Sergeant.
So you're not shooting at a specific thing, it's not an area target. I mean, yeah, that's I said it correctly. It's not an area target. Alright, let's continue on from there. Any questions with the M4?
No questions, Sergeant.
Alright, and the M4s can be equipped with, well, has an adapter rail that allows you to equip various weapon accessories such as your optics, flashlights, bipods, laser aiming devices, and etc., etc. Anything else that you may believe that you might need that is sufficient enough for the op. We'll move on towards the 320. Now, the 320 is a grenade launcher. And there's two types of variants of the grenade launcher, which can be the standalone version or the attached configuration, which is the one you see right here on the screen, which can be attached to your M4. Now, the 320 grenade launcher is a lightweight 40mm grenade launcher that can operate in a standalone or attached configuration. It features a forged aluminum rifle barrel, which allows the operator to accurately engage targets as far as 350 meters. And it allows you to equip or use, to say, various types of ammunition. Now, let me say this again. Its maximum effective engagement range is 350 meters. However, you can be able to launch further than that, depending on your elevation. Now, these various types of ammunition you could equip with it are 40mm HE rounds or HEDP rounds. You could also use your smoke rounds. And I mean by smoke rounds, you could equip in there yellow smoke rounds, green smoke rounds, anything like that. In those variants, you could use those. Those munitions with your 320. So if you needed to conceal an area about 200 meters out, put a smoke round in there. You launch it out, and then you conceal your whole squad or conceal an area or a bunker if you want to. That's 200 meters away from you. You conceal it, and that way you allow the whole platoon to move up to the bunker. You could also equip your 320. You could also use buckshot rounds, which are what we've seen throughout times in throughout ops, that those are extremely effective at certain points. Any questions with the 320?
No, Sergeant.
Negative, sir.
Alright. There's also 203, which is the older brother of the 320. The reason why 320 is always praised and it's the glorious of the other two is because the sights are way better for you to use. And it ranges out, allows you to engage targets a little bit more further than what the 203 can. Alright, moving on to the M249 automatic rifle. The M249 machine gun is a gas-operated air-cooled belt or a magazine-fed automatic weapon that fires from an open bolt position. Its maximum rate of fire is 850 rounds per minute. Ammunition feeds into the weapon from a 200-round ammunition box containing of a disintegrating metallic split-link belt. Does anyone know what else can you equip with it? You can equip the belt, and what else? Okay. You can equip a 200 round box, and you can also equip a 220 or 30 round magazine into the weapon system. So if you run out your 200 round boxes, you could also use the 220 or 30 round magazines from the M4. However, here's one downfall of it. What is an automatic rifle, or what is M249 compared to the M4? No questions? Alright, no comments to that? No one knows what an M249 compared to a regular M4? Alright.
No, M249 is a fully automatic weapon.
Affirms, which means that the pulling of one trigger, well, pulling on trigger and holding on to it, what happens if you do that to both weapon systems? In one weapon system, which is the M249, it will release multiple rounds, as in versus to the M4. If you're on a semi-automatic firing mode, it only releases one round every time you pull and hold onto a trigger. Now, in addition to that, the M249 has a 850 rounds per minute, which means that you're able to launch more rounds than what the regular M4 can. The weapon system was designed to not be used for single shots. It was meant to actually use to shoot out burst rounds, or release all of the rounds within that box without releasing the trigger until you go empty. So, with that said, the reason why it's a downfall to equip a 20 or 30 round magazine into the belt, or into the folding position, or the open bolt position, is that what can happen is that you're going to run through all the rounds of that magazine within your third set of bursts. And your burst should be 3 to 5 round bursts every 2-3 seconds, or every time we pull that trigger. So you're going to run out of ammo after your 6th to 10th time you pull that trigger. And we can never release 3 to 5 rounds accurately. You normally release more than that. That's why it's a downfall to use those magazines, but however, that is an option you can use. Every AR can carry 1,000 rounds. Well, not AR, but a team can carry 1,000 rounds for the whole AR. So AR can carry 700, while each person carries 100 rounds in their backpack. That means the Fryscomber Grenadier and the Rifleman. And that'll be 1,000 rounds within the team. Alright. If your weapon system does begins to overheat, where you have to reload it, that means that you've continued to, you continue to keep on firing without giving your weapon system a break to release some of that steam away. And because of that, your weapon system got overheated and it jammed. Now, therefore, if it's jammed, then if you try to breach a building and you didn't know that, you start hearing those clicks, and you try to reload and nothing happens, that's because your weapon's jammed. So what you're going to do to unclear the jam is either pressing Shift Romeo simultaneously, or you could use your control windows, which is your self-interaction key, and go over and hover over unclear jam, and then it'll unclear the jam for you. Those are your two options to unclear that jam. Any questions related to that? Alright, let's move on to the next weapon system. Alright, has anyone heard of the M240 Bravo?
No, Sergeant.
Alright, M240 Bravo is a medium machine gun. It's the bigger and badder brother of the M249. Now, the M249 is carried by the automatic riflemen throughout the squad. So every rifle squad, every automatic rifleman carries the M249. Now, the M240 Bravo is a weapon that you have to be trained on and get your qualification to use this weapon system within the weapon squad. The weapon squad machine gunners uses the M240 Bravo. Now, if you move on from there, the M240 Bravo is a belt-fed, air-cooled, gas-operated, fully automatic machine gun that fires from the open bolt position, along with the M249. The ammunition is fed into the weapon from a 100-round bandolier containing a disintegrating metallic split-link belt. Now, here's one strange thing about it. The gas from the firing of one round provides the energy for firing the next round, which makes this weapon system very efficient to the M249. The gun functions automatically as long as it is supplied with the ammunition and trigger is held to the rear of the weapon system. Now, M240 Bravo is one downfall is that you cannot reload it with regular 5.56 magazines from the M4s, which means those 20 or 30 round 20 or 30 Senac round magazines. So that's why the machine gunners and weapon squads, they have an assistant that will carry the extra ammunition that is needed for them to have. This way, the machine gunners do not run dry in the middle of an operation. Any questions with the M240 Bravo?
No, Sergeant.
Alright, now we'll move on towards the shoulder-launched munitions. Now, various types of shoulder-launched munitions is the 84, which is carried by half the riflemen in the unit. Its other counterpart is M72 Law, which is carried by the other half of the riflemen within the unit. We want to go over specifically about the 84, as it is the better one out of the two. Now, the 84. The M136 84. The M136 84 is a lightweight, self-contained, shoulder-launched munition designed for use against the improved armor of light armored vehicles, such as your BMPs, well, the updated versions of BMP, such as the BMP-3, and along with your BTR-88 Alpha. However, the law can take out any BTRs that may happen. But the the M136 was created to engage the BMPs, specifically. Now, it provides lethal fire against light armored vehicles to medium armored vehicles. Light armored vehicles are your soft trucks, or your soft armored vehicles, such as the gun trucks, VRDM. And then your light armored vehicles, the regular ones, is the BTR, and the medium armored vehicles is your BMPs. Those are what the M136 is able to engage effectively. Now, its maximum range is 2,100 meters, but its maximum effective range on targets is 300 meters within Arma. Now, the 84 is a one-time use. The M136 is a one-time use weapon system. So once you already launched the rocket out of that weapon system, you're going to have to drop it on the ground because it's no longer usable. You cannot reload it. Don't be the idiot that runs around with the used rocket and you got somebody running up to you asking you, hey, can you use this weapon system to engage an armored piece that came up to your position or rolled up on your position. Alrighty then, there. Let's move on towards the bigger battle brother of the M136, and that is the M3 Carl Gustav, formerly known as the Moz. The Moz is a 84mm recoilless rifle carried only by the weapons squad anti-armor specialist. This is another weapon system that you have to be qualified to use, and in order to use the weapon system, you got to be within the weapons squad. It's capable of employing a vast array of ammunition for use against armored targets, which means you could equip various ammunition into that weapon system, such as heat rockets, HP rockets, which are high-purpose rockets, or high-explosive dual-purpose rockets as well. Now, depending on the target and ammunition selected, is capable of ranging out to targets of 1,000 meters. Of course, with the Moz rocket.
Negative, sir.
Alright, next is the only close combat missile system that we use is the Javelin, or the FGM-148. The Javelin is a fire and forget shoulder-fired man-portable close combat missile system that consists of a reusable command launch unit and a round. Now, you can also launch the Javelin without the command launch unit by just using the sights. But you can also use command launch unit if you want to, which is, in my opinion, if I was within the weapon squad, I would prefer more better, as I know for sure that it will seek out the target that I'm launching the rocket to. Now, the Javelin's primary role is to destroy enemy armored vehicles out to 2,000 meters. In addition to Javelin, CLU, or a command launch unit, can be used alone as an aided vision device for reconnaissance, security operations, and surveillance, which means you can use its thermal capabilities if needed be. Let me point out something very significant about the Javelin. The javelin is very effective when engaging armored targets than what the Moss can or the shoulder fire munitions that we use within Rifle Squad. Now, one thing about javelin is that once you're locked onto a target and you launch the rocket goes about 20 feet right in front of your face or 3 meters in front of your face. And what would happen is that's when the main engines on the rocket will turn on or cook off. And then the rocket will go straight up into the air about not 90-degree angle, but about 60-degree angle all up to the sky to where you cannot see it anymore. Then a few seconds later, you'll see the rocket come straight down onto the top of the armored piece and then smush the armored piece until you make it into a sandwich, I should say. That makes the armor piece no longer effective as the armor piece is very weak from its top plate. So when it hits the top of the turret is no longer usable, and it smushes the turret into the cabin, which basically smushes the crew inside of the armor piece, making the armor piece no longer usable, and setting cook-off off to any ammunition that was within that armor piece and destroying the engine inside of it, which makes Javelin very effective because it decapitates the armor piece, all in total. Now, with that said, however, we never want to waste these Javelin rockets because we can only have 2 per team, or all in total 4 per squad, and there's only 1 weapon squad within the whole platoon. So, if the Javelin teams waste a rocket on a BTR, then if a tank comes down, it's all up to the MAS rocket teams, the teams that are carrying the MAS, if they are carrying it, to engage that MBT. And we're not always for certain that will be effectively engaged for sure, depending on how far out the tank is. That's why if you see a BMP or a BTR, try your best to take it out with the weapon system that you're given within a rifle squad. Everyone understands from there?
Yes, sir.
Alright,
Yes, sir.
let's move on. Alright, enough with the weapon systems. Now we'll move on towards our organic munitions. And the first thing on there is grenades. Now, grenades, or the hand grenade, is a handheld, hand-armed, and hand-thrown weapon that we can use here as a regular infantryman. Now, to move on from there, they come in various forms such as lethal grenades, non-lethal grenades, as well as colored or white smokes for screening movements, signaling, and marking positions, along with landing zones. Now, the average soldier can throw a grenade to as far as 35 meters, and that is for sure enough as far you can throw it in Arma. Now, therefore, they are designed to have a small blast radius and are fused to have a 3 to 5 second delay, so that you are able to safely throw this as far as possible before it cooks off. Now, yes, you can cook a grenade. However, I'm not going to show you how to because I don't want you to even do it. And you could do it straightly through your ACE weapon system. Don't be the idiot cooking the grenade and forget to throw it. Or an enemy comes up in your position and you throw the grenade and blow yourself up. Now, moving on towards the M67 fragmentation grenade. The M67 is a fragmentation type grenade consisting of a pre-fragmented steel body filled with 6.5 ounces of composition B explosive. It's intended to be used in a offensive capacity and has a killing radius of 15 meters and a fragmentation dispersal radius of 230 meters. So, it will kill you within 15 meters. It could go out to as far as 230 meters. Sometimes it went even further than that. So when you see a fragmentation grenade, do your best to get behind cover before it cooks off or goes up in your face. Any questions?
No, sir.
Negative, sir.
Alright, let me go over some procedures with using fragmentation grenades. So go ahead and make sure you're on standing. You're no longer sitting. Once you've done that, go ahead and press escape. Configure. Controls. Once you've done that, you're going to make sure that you're on your shell. Go on drop down menu, make sure you selected weapons. Once you're on weapons, go ahead and scroll down almost straight towards the center. You see where it says throw? Go ahead and delete that keybind. So you shouldn't have a keybind for throw. Make sure you press OK. And then you could change your psycho throw items if you want to. That's all up to you. But make sure you don't have a keybind for throw. Once you're done that, go to configure add-ons. And under the add-on drop bar, go ahead and go to weapons or ace weapons. You're gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom and you're gonna look for prepare / change throwable. You're gonna set that to G. And then you could change the throwable drop mode, toggle or hold if you want to. And along with select frag grenade or non-frag grenades as your option. But I advise you just keep it to 6 or 7 and allow you to cycle through them so you can remember. Once G is your change or prepare throwable, make sure you press OK so you can save the changes, then press continue. Now you're on the screen. So whenever you get prepared to throw your grenade, what's going to happen is that a menu will pop up with an arch. And at the very end of the arch will be red, which shows you that's almost approximately where it would land. This arch allows you, helps you out to be able to throw a grenade into a window. You can actually throw a grenade within the window. You can now be a little bit more accurate when throwing a grenade into a doorway without predicting, okay, is this the center of my screen? Will it go here? That way you won't actually ND yourself. Or not ND, but actually throw a bad frag. That said, let's move on towards our procedure words that we'll be using when we're using our grenades, our fabrication grenades. First word is frag out. Hopefully you guys know how to spell frag out. Frag out means that you are throwing a frag. So you're going to be on yelling, you're going to yell out frag out. Then you're going to wait a hot second, then you're going to throw your fragmentation grenade to wherever you need to throw it at. If you are a bystander, if you heard someone say frag out, your job is to echo out that order. You're going to yell out frag out too as well. This way, everyone at the rear of the platoon movement and in front of the platoon element heard that a frag was thrown towards any position. Even people who are about 200 meters away from you will hear it. But that's good enough for everyone else to be precautious and not run to where you're throwing a frag at. They'll stop and see where you're throwing it at. Next procedure word is frag. That means the enemy has thrown a frag near you. And it's a good thing that you're on yelling, that way people can hear that a frag is thrown. If you hear an enemy frag or you heard a frag been thrown, which means it could be a friendly frag. If you don't know, just say frag. That way everyone else can know that there's been a frag that's been thrown. Unidentified, could be an enemy frag or a friendly frag, we just don't know. And everyone else will start running away from where the frag is at. Your job, if you hear someone else say frag, you yell out frag as well. You can echo out that order. Lastly is bad frag. Bad frag means that you've accidentally thrown a bad frag by mistake, and you're going to let everyone else know that you've thrown a frag by mistake. Thrown a smoke grenade, but you're not sure if it was a smoke grenade, yell out bad frag. This way, if it was a bad frag and you were correct on that, or your assumption was correct, you don't get in trouble. If it was a smoke grenade, at least everybody else know, well, this guy's needed, but at least he was precautious. Now, if you don't say that it was a bad frag, and you know for sure you threw a frag by mistake, and you don't say it was a bad frag, people run towards wherever they need to go, and they run right in front of that bad frag, and it downs both of them and possibly might kill them. All that's under your hands because you knew it was a bad frag, you didn't call it out. And even if you didn't know it was a bad frag and you didn't call it out, nobody's going to believe you on that. Because we had so many cases where people don't call out it was a bad frag and they knew it was a bad frag. So what I'm trying to say to you here is that if you throw a frag by mistake, call it out. Because it's much worse if you don't call it out and they figure out it was you, but they had to do all that work to try to figure out who threw it. Alright? Okay. Hopefully you guys do understand about that, because I didn't hear no, alrights, or yes, Sergeant from there. Alright, so one thing you need to do, when you see a frag been thrown, you're going to get to cover, of course, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Now, there's cases where there's no cover in front of you. What you're going to do is that you're going to run to the opposite direction where the frag's not at. Let's pretend that these screens are the frag, as you see the frag right there. You're going to run the opposite direction, and then you're going to hit the deck after a second you've ran. You see how far I went from? So I'm no longer within 15 meters of that dispersal radius of the fabrication grenade. So within 1 second you've ran, you should be at least away from that grenade. So I'm far away from that screen. You're going to hit the deck, and you're going to make sure your head's facing away from the grenade and your feet facing towards it, and we'll know the reason why.
Fragmentations aren't.
But why would I want to make sure my head's facing away from the grenade and my face I mean, my feet facing towards it.
Because if you're gonna get hit, it's gonna be on the legs.
Yep,
rather
on your
than the
legs.
Body, torso, head.
Yep, you could live with the foundation hitting your feet, but you can't live with it hitting and going inside your head, which basically will go towards your brain, because you can't live with a decapitated brain. I mean, head, because you have to cut it off, because of course it's gonna go to your brain. But if it's in your feet, and it's in the worst case scenarios, they could decapitate your feet, and you could survive with the feet cut off, but not with a head cut off or a piece of your brain cut off, or whatever. But you can actually live with a piece of brain cut off, but and maybe some portions of your functions of your basic living. Alright, so that's something I want to point out to you. So make sure you do that when you're running away from a fractage grenade. Everyone understands?
Yes, sir.
Maybe some cases where you heard the word too late last minute, so you have to hit the deck before you even count a second. That's all okay, just as long as you hit the deck and your feet face towards it. Let's move on towards our non-lethal grenades. First off is your flashbangs. Now, unfortunately, your flashbangs are under the category of lethal whenever you're cycling through your grenade. So you press 6 key, you'll find your flashbang on it, but you don't have your loadout, so you can't find it right now. But your flashbangs under the section of your lethal grenades through your ACE menu. But the M84 is a diversionary device used for building and room clearing operations. That's our primary purpose of usage. Now, it is employed when non-combatants are likely or expected, and the assaulting element is attempting to achieve the surprise. When the device explodes in a room, it delivers a loud bang combined with a bright flash, which is designed to temporarily blind and deafen the room occupants, as well as disorientating them for as long as 15 minutes. This all happens within one time. That bang, that flash, blinding them, disorienting them, is all meant to keep the enemy from catching them by surprise and prevent them from even reacting from it, allowing us the extra 15 seconds of taking them out before they can react to it. However, there's one downfall to it. If the flashbang does not enter the cone of vision of the enemy AI, it is not effective. It's just a waste of a flashbang. However, this is not within our way of fixing that, and you're not in the wrong of it if you go in a room and AI starts shooting at you. There's nothing wrong that you did. It is out of our control once you throw that grenade in there. The fabrication grenade. I mean, a flashbang. Do not know if they're flash. So, therefore, keep this in your mindset. When you throw a flashbang, pretend you haven't thrown a flashbang. Go in that room, assuming that you're breaching that room without nothing. That way, if the enemy was not flash, you're already prepared for it. You're not assuming that he is flash and you got the extra time to engage him. Everyone understands from that?
Yes, sir.
Alright. You'll also use flashbang if you see a civilian in the room or a hostage in the room. You're going to throw it in there because you never know if that hostage is just a fake HVT. It could be an enemy dressed up as a hostage and the hostage dressed up as an enemy, so then the enemy could shoot at you. So when you pop that window and you see them, he can easily pick up that rifle and get ready to shoot at you because you think it's just him. Alright, let's move on to the next one, and that's your smoke grenades. We have various types of smoke grenades. You got white, green, yellow, red, purple, blue, and orange. Each of these have their own specific type of signaling or giving out their specific purpose of what they are and to why we use them. Now, you can cycle through these smoke grenades by pressing your 7 key. It allows you to cycle through those types of non-lethal grenades, such as your chem lights and other various forms of that nature. Now, within your smoke grenades, let me go ahead and go over the signal colors of them. First off is the yellow and white smoke. These mean concealment. You're using that to yield the enemy's vision on you to give you the chance to either fall back, relocate, maneuver, bandage yourself, move back behind cover, whatsoever that you needed to use that yellow white smoke for. Now, you are allowed to carry 4 yellow smokes, which means that there's 4 guys in your fire team, so you should have 16 smokes all in total, or within a whole squad, 40 smokes all in total. 40 yellow smokes, I should say. So you shouldn't be able to run out all those smokes when you go through an operation. Just keep that in mind. Alright, next is green smoke. Green smoke is meant to mark friendly location. We use these for many cases of reasons. Like, first off, if we are having a danger close gun run. We'll pop green smoke on our position so that Thunder, or our Apache pilots, and when I mean Thunder, I mean by the 18 pilots, or fixed wing rotary pilots. That way they can know. Sorry, fixed wing pilots. That way they can know that where's our position is located. If they know the enemy is nowhere near that green smoke, they'll engage that. If we're by that green smoke, they won't engage those set of ants or people they see within their thermal sights. However, we usually just give them a blue force marker or a grid reference, and usually if they see smoke being popped up at a certain position, they'll know, okay, that's friendlies. Alright, anything near this blue force marker and not near that smoke will be enemies that can engage. So if you see green smoke being popped, you stick to that position, you stay near it. Sometimes we use it for a safe position, such as if it was a mission complete or index, we'll have everyone rally on that green smoke. If we're letting everybody else know this is a safe zone, we'll clear out this area, you can come to this position. For safeness, if you need to bring a couch over here or whatsoever that may need happen, such as a resupply, come over here. So if you pop a bad green smoke, you can accidentally cause the whole task force to run to your position and get themselves shot from various flanks that did not know that they were enemy fire from. Also, you could have accidentally popped a green smoke on an enemy position. And now Thunder thinks that those are friendlies and we are enemies. So be careful with the green smoke. Moving on to red smoke. Red smoke is meant to mark enemy location. Same thing with the green smoke. You can mark it to let Thunder know this is where the enemies are at. Pop the accident on our position. Guess what happens if you pop red smoke on our position?
Something very bad, Sergeant.
Something very bad. Excellent. Mortars can come land on us. High explosive rounds can hit upon us, such as what's coming from Thunder, our A-10 pilots or our rotary pilots can engage that red smoke. So you pop the red smoke, call it immediately up your chain of command so they can let their platoon HQ element know. Which platoon HQ element will let their respective places know. Which means they'll notify task force commander, who will notify Dagger, who will notify the air assets. So you pop red smoke, you know, it'll take a long time for the air assets to realize that it's friendly once you bring it up. That's why you need to make sure and be careful what smoke you're popping. So you run out of every smoke color, like team leader know, hey, I ran out of red smoke, do we have any yellow smoke? And if not, hey, I'm popping red smoke for concealment, can you bring this up before I throw it? That's a good initiative on your point, that way we don't get blue and blued. Alright, moving on from there. Next color smoke is orange smoke. Oh wait, actually I want to point out something real quick. With your 320, you could put your red smoke round into your grenade launcher, and you can pop red smoke round up to 350 meters to conceal a bunker, and let enemies know, hey, friendlies know, hey, this is where an enemy bunker is at. It is occupied by enemies. Or you could use that to mark a enemy mortar position, enemy armored piece that is stationary. You could use that red smoke for many various reasons. Or hey, enemy squad was last known at this position somewhere around here. If you see movement around there, engage it. So you can also use your red smoke from there, but be careful that smoke does bounce, especially with wind and elevation. It won't land 100%, 90% guarantee you it will not land where you popped it at, or launched it, I should say. Next is purple smoke. Purple smoke is meant to mark mass casualties. Mass casualties can only be dignified by a medic. So medics are the only ones who can carry purple smoke. So they're the only ones who can signify what a mass casualty collection point is. So they're the only ones who will pop a purple smoke. If you see purple smoke being popped and you're right next to it, your primary job is to provide security around that point. Do not move unless you get orders from your squad leader or team leader to leave that position. Do not run to the purple smoke and try to assist the medics. Medics already got the situation under control, which is why they popped the purple smoke. They wouldn't have popped it if the area is not clear or whatsoever may happen from there. If you carry purple smoke by mistake and you popped it by mistake, please make sure you bring it up. What will happen is that you're going to have the whole task force of medics running to your position thinking there's a mass cast, and they haven't heard word on their own net that there's a mass casualty. And what will happen from there is that they're going to think, oh my god, the squad medic and his squad is down in there because we haven't heard any word about that purple smoke. So you're going to whole task force of medics coming to your position. And if you're taking large amounts of fire, now you got the whole task force of medics down. However, your squad medic's still up, hopefully. So now we got to provide medical attention to the squad, a whole worth of medics that are down. Alright, move on towards orange smoke. Orange smoke is meant to mark a danger area. These two types of danger areas. an LZ point, number 1, or number 2, an explosive, a friendly explosive has been set in this position, or it could be an enemy explosive, either or. Only team leaders carry red orange smoke, and only TAC-P carry orange smoke, because TAC-P is the only person who can communicate or have the ability to communicate to our air assets. And team leaders are the ones that carry explosive, so of course they're the only ones to be carrying orange smoke. You see the orange smoke being popped, you might want to get away from that position, as an explosive might blow up in front of your face and make you start flying, or you can have a bird land on top of your head and smush you down to the ground, so be careful when you see the orange smoke being popped. Lastly is blue smoke, and that means broken chain of command. Someone within leadership is down, and you are no way capable enough of communicating someone up in your chain of command. So that means that your squad leader's down, team leader's down, you don't know what the next radio channel is up, or your radio's broken, or you don't have radio whatsoever may happen, so you pop a blue smoke on your position. Any questions with all the smoke signal colors I've given you today?
Negative,
No questions, Sergeant.
Alright, do I need to say anything again for you for sakes of notes? Nope. Alright, cool. Alright. That includes everything within the slides. Let's go over one second. Alright. Your firing modes. You got semi-automatic and automatic firing mode. First off, firing semi-automatic mode means you're launching one round every time you pull and hold the trigger. So when you're pulling and hold on to the trigger, one round will release every time you do that. Now, automatic firing mode is if you're pulling and holding on to your trigger, multiple rounds will release until the whole magazine is emptied out. Everyone know the difference between automatic and semi-automatic firing mode?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Do I need to say what point fire and area fire is? Again. Yes or no?
No, I copy on point and area fire.
Copy. Alright, let's go ahead and move on towards our rates of fire. Alright, so we have various types of rates of fire. First off, there's 3 for if you're just a basic infantryman within a rifle squad. And if you're just carrying regular M4A1, I should say. Alright, first type rate of fire is sustained or effective. Within sustained effective firing, you're shooting one round every 2 to 3 seconds. This can happen if the target's far away, or you need to conserve ammo. Either of the two. Now, what I mean by far away is if about 700 meters away or 600 meters away, and this gives you enough time to be able to use less of your ammo, not wasting on it, and to see if your shot is effective enough, and to be able to readjust to your aiming. So if you're short by an inch or whatever, or if your round hit to the left, you could adjust by the wind speed or whatever may happen from there. Move on to the next rate of fire, and that is rapid. In rapid, you're going to do double taps this time every 2 to 3 seconds. So you're going to shoot 2 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. It could be if the target's got close to you, so now you got to put more lead down on the target to keep them from moving, take them down. Or there's less guys in your line engaging targets, so you're going to increase your rate of fire to make up the lack of men, or the lack of rifles. Next is cyclic. Cyclic rate of fire means that now you're switching to automatic firing mode, and you're achieving a 3 to 5 round burst every 2 to 3 seconds. Or depending on the scenario, 1 to 2 seconds. If the targets are very close to you, you'll increase the time between firing to 1 to 2 seconds. If they're not that close to you, then you keep the firing, the time between firing to 2 to 3 seconds. Now you can use cyclic if the targets are close to you, or you can pick up the lack of men if you don't have that much rifle. So if there's only me and another rifleman with me, then we'll do cyclic. That way we can increase our rate of fire. Now, the reason for these rates of fire is to help each infantryman conserve the ammo. Now, as you already know, that we are a light infantry regiment, which means that And along with that, we are an air assault, which means that you rarely get that much of resupply. And throughout most operations, we'll never get a resupply unless it's a desperate need to get it. Now, some scenarios may happen, such as AO's too hot, or there are too much AA around the area, so we won't be getting a resupply at any time of that moment. So it's all up to us to make sure that we are very attentive, make sure that we don't waste all of our ammo, so we gotta make sure we conserve it as much as possible, which is why we are implementing, or which is why we teach you these types of rates of fire. So if there's a whole squad online engaging an infantryman at whatever distance it may be, what rate of fire are you going to use? Remember, there's 10 rifles, well, 8 rifles and 2 automatic rifles. What rate of fire are you going to use?
I'd use sustained, Sergeant.
Sustain. Because guess what? You're launching 10, or I should say 8 rounds from the regular M4, and you got 2 automatic riflemen, so they're shooting about 3 to 5 rounds. So that's about what? 11 to 15 rounds you're launching right there? So you could easily, effectively engage targets further away. If it's just one guy, you got 50 rounds. That's overkill, and we don't fight fair, so we might as well just use those multiple rounds to make sure that target's down. And we already know that it takes more than rounds to take down AI within here, so don't try to only clip 30 rounds on target. Don't forget that you got other guys shooting at that one single guy, so remember that. Alright, let me go over the rates of fire with the M249. So the M249 will always shoot in burst fire. You're never going to do no single tap. Everyone understands from there? Or understand me about that?
Yes, sir.
If you got M249 or M240 Bravo, never do single taps. You're always going to do burst fire. So these burst fire are 3 to 5 rounds. That's what you try to achieve for burst firing. Now, for sustained or effective firing, you're going to shoot 3 to 5 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. And this type of burst fire is what you normally will use every time when you're engaging targets. But there are sometimes calls for you to increase that. And that will move on towards rapid. Going to increase your rate of fire. So no longer being 3 to 5 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds, it will be 6 to 10 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. And then you got cyclic. Now you're going to launch about 10 to 30 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. And if the target's getting closer, then that'd be 1 to 2 seconds, you have 2 to 3 seconds. Everyone understands on the rate of fire with the M249 or M240 Bravo?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Now there's a term called talking guns. This will limit you having to switch up to cyclic. So now you got 2 guys, 2 automatic riflemen or machine gunners placed up or in a position or a good position covering a whole element, or at least adequate amount of elements, who are at least adequately close to each other where they communicate with each other, either through radio or through direct communication. And with these guys placed up, looking at the same direction, they could go ahead and do something called talking guns. That means that if I'm shooting my rounds and then I stop releasing, then I'm going to get a reply back from the other gunner. His gun's going to talk for a couple seconds. And then he's going to stop talking, and I'm going to reply back to him. Get what I'm saying from there? So, let's put a scenario down. Me and my other gunner, we're on a hill. I'm on one side of the hill, and the other guy is on the other side of the hill. So, at least we're spaced apart, so that way, if they catch us, they only see one of us. But moving on from there, though, I'm going to launch about, let's say we need to do sustained or effective. I'm going to launch about 3 to 5 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. So, I'm going to launch my 3 to 5 rounds, and then my friendly gunner, he'll launch 3 to 5 rounds after I've launched my rounds. So I'm going to do 3 to 5 rounds. Then McCoy will do 3 to 5 rounds. Then I will do 3 to 5 rounds. Then McCoy will do 3 to 5 rounds. This keeps on going to I run out of ammo. Then McCoy, he's going to do 3 to 5 rounds. And he's going to keep on doing it. So he's going to increase his time. He's going to decrease his time between firing. Or he can increase his rate of fire. So he could do rapid. So he can do either 2. He can keep shooting 3 to 5 rounds, or he'll just do 6 to 10 rounds. Until I'm back up, I'm going to say gun up. Then he'll wait for me to reply. So he'll stop shooting so I can start shooting. Keeps on going until he runs out of rounds, and this cycle just keeps on going all over again until we run out of boxes and ammunition to use. Everyone understands from there?
Yes, Sergeant.
So this is something that's very effective, or the ARs could effectively conserve the ammo at the same time, keep the enemy's head down because the rounds do not stop. There's always rounds going down range. Alright, any questions on the rates of fire?
No, Sergeant.
Alright, let me point out something very significant. Always engage the greatest threat that comes to you first. Or that you deem as the greatest threat first. So let's put a scenario down up here. Where we see targets 200 meters away. We got a single guy with an RPG gunner, and we got a buddy team of 2 infantrymen. Who do we engage first? You got a buddy team of infantrymen, and you got 1 guy with an RPG gunner. Who do we engage first?
I take the buddy team of infantrymen, Sergeant.
RPG gunner, sorry.
Take the RPG gunner. And the reason for that is because if the RPG gunner takes his rocket out, he can launch that round right between me and my other team who's probably behind me or whatever. I could take out 2 teams or a squad than what 2 guys with weapon systems that can only engage through semi-automatic or automatic firing mode. And they might miss, but RPG cannot miss. Even if it hits behind us, dispersal of the shrapnel can go about 15 meters to kill us or even further than that. So the RPG gunner is a little bit more dangerous. And along with, if we're traveling with vehicles, the RPG gunner will definitely be our top priority. Now let's see here. If we got a BTR 80 Alpha and a BMP-1, you guys don't know what armor pieces are just yet, so I shouldn't say that. But we have a BTR and we have an MBT. Who do we engage first? It's a trick question. It's a little trick question. We're gonna engage the BTR. I should have done a quick question. Trick question, you guys. Our weapon systems, God, Jesus Christ. Our weapon systems cannot engage a MBT or a main battle tank. They're not really designed for that, unless that main battle tank's within 50 meters near us. However, the BTR can be BTR 80 Alpha with an autocannon, or it can just be regular BTR with this 12.5 KPVT rounds. It could effectively engage every infantryman out there as it wants to without stopping to reload, but the MBT has to reload. So the BTR would be our greatest threat, as it is the only only threat that we can actually engage. And then if we see a BTR and a squad, who do we engage first?
BTR.
Awesome. Yep. Alright, and moves on from there. Lastly, reloading. Whenever you're reloading your weapon system, you're going to call out reloading at all times. That way we know we need to increase our rate of fire. If you're a machine gunner, you'll say your gun's down. Or automatic rifleman, you'll say your gun's down, so we know to decrease your rate of fire, of course, from there as well. Any questions with these basic engagement techniques I just went over?
No, Sergeant.
Alright.
Sorry.
Something I did forget to go over, just couple things. Demolition blocks. Like I said, 2 meters can only create demolition blocks. To access that, you'll use your control Windows key. Hover over explosive. And then hover over demolition block. And then you're going to release. Then it's going to have demolition block on your screen. Go over to wherever you want to place that. If I want to place it on this table, I'll drop it. Some items I can actually attach it to, like vehicles, you can attach that demolition block to. Once it's attached, I am not done. I gotta make sure that it is synced to my firing device, or else I won't be able to explode that device off, or that explosive off. So I'm gonna use my Windows key this time, same with how you're able to sit. I'm gonna use my interaction key. I'm gonna hover over the explosive. I'm gonna select set code or set charge. I'm gonna set the charge to my firing device. It can either be M7 or M152 firing device. Then I'm gonna release. Now I know it's set to my firing device. To check to make sure it is, I'm going to press my control Windows key, explosive, and then you're going to see where it says detonation. If it says detonation code 1, then you know that your delimitation is set. If you've done 2 explosive charges and only see 1 delimitation block, then that means that 1 of the 2 has not been set to your firing device. Unless you're carrying 2 firing devices and you set it to 1 of the other firing devices. And of course, to set my demolition block off, self-interaction, explosive, detonate, and detonate code 1, 2, 3, or I can detonate all of them simultaneously by pressing detonate code and then colon all. Any questions with setting your demolition block off?
No, Sergeant.
Alright, now one thing you want to always make sure, and this is related to grenades, so your fabrication grenades and your non-lethal grenades, is the wind speed. Let's press our shift kilo key. what do we see? On our top left side of our screen, you should see an arrow. Y'all see that?
Green arrow with 2 dots, sir.
Yep, a green arrow. If I pull out my compass, I press in my kilo key, I could assume that the wind's going west, obviously. And then you see the 3 dots. That tells you the speed of the wind. So now I know the wind's picking up a little bit, quite hefty there. This helps me out on knowing when I'm shooting. If I go beyond my effective engagement range, that's when the wind will pick up the bullet and shift it somewhere else to where the wind's going. And it helps me out when I'm throwing my grenades, such as my 5-dish grenades. It might go a little bit away from where I'm going. If I'm facing north, it might go a little bit west. And then lastly, if I'm throwing a smoke grenade, the wind will pick up the smoke and shift it west. So the smoke will go from the original point, and it will go all the way down to the west as far as the wind will carry it. That lets you know on how to do effective screening. So I want all of you to look at these screens, right? If I want to effectively screen all of these screens, where should I throw my smoke grenade at?
Middle left, aren't.
We could throw them in the left, yep. However, it's a little hard to do it here because the wind is against us. Because the wind will pick up the smoke in front of us. So we can't really conceal all of the screens. However, we turn around, and if we can't stand Sergeant McCoy's face, where should we throw the smoke at?
To the right of Sergeant McCoy.
To the right of Sergeant McCoy, yes. And the wind will pick it up and conceal him. Alright, that's all you need to know. Go ahead and stand up, follow me. Time for y'all to shoot at something. Don't worry about putting your hard cover back on because we're going to the supply sergeant.
Fuck, he has a hard on for you. You don't like your face, does he? Yeah, right.
Alright, go to the arsenal.
Good looking motherfucker.
Up here at the vehicle ammo box. And you're going to select your rifleman loadout. From here on out, throughout OSUT, every time we tell you to pick your loadout, you go straight to this arsenal box once you give information to you, and you're going to pick your loadout or designated billet that we've given to you, i.e. rifleman. Once that's done, you're going to come over here to this CamelNet box. You're going to grab your binos and your radio. That should be just something that you'll get used to. That way, you're going to keep on doing it every time you get your loadout. Always remember to get your loadout, and then go to the CamelNet box and grab your Vector 21 Night and your radio. Make sure you have Vector 21 Night. That's the only binos you're allowed to have. The same thing happens when you're loading to an official setting, such as your squad training, operation, whatsoever. You're going to see the same displayment. This box and a CamelNet. So after you graduate from OSUT, you should be able to get used to that. Once you're done, you're going to go outside and move on towards the ranges.
Question, Sergeant.
Yep, send it.
Unable to pick up the Vector 21.
Drag it into the bino slot, or you can press the shift right click button. So down to shift button and then press the right click button.
Copy that. I've got it, Sergeant.
Alright, cool. Alright, do we all get everything we needed?
Correct, Sergeant. Alright,
make sure I get my vectors, because I am forgetful about that. Alright, once you get your loadout, you're going to immediately do this. And this is for OSUT and 80 day, come follow me. For OSUT and when you go for squad trainings and anything else like that, you're going to move to a designated area to where you're going to do your crouching. So come over here, crouch, one behind the other. Crouch, one behind the other. Something called PCC, we'll teach you that during day 2. Once you get your loadout, you come immediately right here during OSUT, and you're going to crouch. That's respected by your team, so it'll be fire team leader, AR, grenadier, and rifleman. That's how you'll be nil DAS, correct? I mean, not correct. Copy?
Copy that, Sergeant.
Alright, and then that same thing throughout trainings when you fill in for in operations. You can go to a designated area where everyone else is at, and you're going to go crouching, in respect to where every squad is at, or team is at, and you do respectfully to that. Alright, go ahead and stand up and follow me. When a weapons range complex, go ahead and teleport to that. Do you see that at the red flag or no? Nope.
I see it.
Yep, look at the reflex. See? Alright, go ahead and teleport to that. You're gonna scroll wheel, and then if spacebar is your select button, press that, or whatever your select button is. Cool, right there. Alright. Follow me. Alright. Someone pick the left one and someone go to my right. Alright, what did I say that you have to press to go cycle through your lethal grenades, such as your fragmentation grenade and your stun grenade? What button?
Six button.
6
Sorry.
button. Cool. Alright, so we're gonna press that till we see M67, and then we have our fragmentation grenade selected now. Now, let's say we needed to take out some cowards that are hiding behind some cover. It could be the bunker, it could be these rock walls. You're going to have to throw the grenade over there. Alright, both of you have magazines in your rifle. Go ahead and go to your inventory, take the magazine out of your rifle. Something I did forget to mention. As soon as you get your loadout away out of the box, you're going to go ahead and make sure that your magazine is no longer in your rifle. Now, if you're a person like me where you've saved your loadout without a magazine in it, it's going to put a magazine in your rifle that is empty. I understand that it's empty, however, you still got to take it out your magazine because people are, they don't get it. So, take the magazine out of your rifle and then put it in your backpack, vest, or uniform, whichever place you want to put it in. That's called conditioning 4. You do that every time unless you are specifically told not to, such as the operation we're in right now. You're going to be in condition 3, magazine in your rifle on safety. Alright, move on from there. We got our fragmentation grenade selected. So I want to take out these guys hiding behind the cover because I am not effectively able to engage them. So I'm throwing my grenade. What do I say before I throw my grenade?
Frag out.
Frag out.
Frag out. Frag out? Alright, no one said frag out. Nope! You don't, no, God. Go on, Neil, before the grenade clicks off. Alright, I did not give you the order to throw the frag. Alright, if someone says frag out, what do you say?
Frag out.
Frag out, you're going to echo out the order. Alright, you guys messed up on that, and we actually threw our grenade by mistake. Let's not make sure we don't do that during a squad training or any official setting. Alright. So I'm going to yell out frag out, and then I'm going to do what? I'm going to wait a quick second before I throw the grenade. Frag out. And y'all still didn't say it. Thank God that was covered by that grenade, Novikov, because you could have got yourself injured by that grenade. Make sure you prone behind cover. The cover can't conceal you while you're standing. You gotta go proning or crouching. Alright, everyone get the gist of it? Everyone get the gist of it? Private Grote, go ahead and press your N key and throw the grenade once you've done that.
Frag out.
Frag out.
Frag out. Recover. Private Novikov, go ahead.
Frag out.
Frag out.
Good grenade. Well, that went behind the bunker, but didn't. I swear I saw that. Private Grill, if you press N key right now, like press your November key.
Yes, sir.
Did you press it?
Yes, sir.
What happens?
Got a frag.
No, your November key. Is your fragmentation
November.
grenade your N key?
No, negative.
Oh.
Misheard. I get MVGs.
Yep, and they can't throw a grenade that way? Or your smoke grenade?
Negative, sir.
Alright, take it off real quick. Believe the time right now is 11 o'clock in the afternoon, so make sure you put your MVGs in your backpack. Always remember to do that. So magazines, MVGs, everything else should be in your backpack that you don't need during the mission. Alright, let's throw some smokes. We're hyped for that, right? Where do we remember the wind was going? It was going to what cardinal direction?
From here
North,
it's going,
east, south, west. Still going west.
southwest, sorry.
Yep, still going west. Well, west, but I guess close enough to southwest, I guess then. So wind's going west right now. So now I know I need to throw my grenade where? The right side or left side of the bunker?
Right side.
Right side. In front or behind?
Behind.
Behind, Sergeant.
Behind. Good. I'm throwing my grenade. Say smoke out. Oops, and I actually changed my color by mistake. But let's pretend that was yellow smoke. I accidentally pressed the G key twice in a row, which changed the color as well. Alright, so the smoke went a little bit too far behind, but if it was up a little bit further, then it would conceal the bunker. Now, the reason why I said smoke out before I threw the grenade is that way my team leader or my squad leader will be informed that, hey, we're now throwing a grenade, no need for you to waste yours. Now, let me throw the grenade, smoke grenade somewhere around here. I want you to see how far enough the smoke goes off towards. This way, we don't waste all of our smokes. So if I say smoke out, then everyone's know, okay, that guy's throwing smoke, let me not throw mine. So you all have 4 smokes individually and come over here. Now, if we notice, the smoke plumed out from its original source, which was right here. And you notice it covered this whole range, or this section of the range. Plus some parts of this section of the range. This means that I don't need to throw 2 smokes to cover this side of the area. Imagine it was 4 dots. Then the wind actually would pick it up and then cover it, conceal this other side of the range as well. So be careful when throwing smokes. You don't have to have 2 guys concealing that certain area. Everyone copies from there?
Yes, Sergeant.
Go ahead and follow me. Now, I do want to point out that if you notice that the smokes do bounce, so you got to be careful when deploying your smoke grenades, as they may become effective to ineffective even though you threw it at the right spot. Alright, some guy, I need to throw on my left and to my right. Stand by. Hey, Armin. Hard and Mano. Alright. Let's move on towards your binos. Go ahead and press your Bravo key. Hopefully you put it in the right spot. Let's see who did that. Alright. Excellent. Alright. Go ahead and press your right mouse button, or at least look down into your binos where you see the crosshair, along with various horizontal and vertical lines. Can you see that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Reckon.
Alright. Sweet. Now just pick any target, look at any armored piece. The armored pieces with the tracks, those are BMPs. The ones with the tires, those are BTRs. So big tires, BTRs, tracks, BMPs. Alright, so move on from there. If we look at the armored piece, if we press our tab key, that gives us the bearing of the target from respective of our location, so the degree. But we call that bearing for now. If you press and hold into your R key until you see a red circle come up on your crosshairs and then release, gives you the range from your position down to the target. Is everyone able to get themselves a bearing and a range?
Yes, Sergeant.
You could press these 2 keys respectfully and it gives you the range and bearing of the target at the same time, as long as you hold on to that Romeo key and wait for the red circle to pop up. Alright. Move on from there. Helps you out in being a spotter. So let's go ahead and go over the procedures of being a spotter. So usually a spotter is a grenadier, because he's usually buddy teamed up with a rifleman. You learn that later on during day 2 based off of buddy teams. However, usually grenadier will be the spotter of the rifleman, because the rifleman carries the rocket. So your job as spotter is to give out an accurate range and bearing to the target that you need a rifleman to engage with his shoulder fired launcher. Alright, I need you guys to get a little bit closer to me. Don't bite. Thank you. Let's all look at this one single target, and is that BMP that's very close to us with the yellow tube. That tow missile. You everyone see it? Not tow missile, I'm sorry. ATGM.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, we're all looking at that. Cool. Alright, if I press tab and R at the same time, my range and my bearing might be a little bit different to my friendly next to me. So I got 137 as my bearing and my range 106. Some of yours might be 138, 136. Range might be 107, 108. It all may change, but it's not a significant difference. The only difference between it is just one out. I mean, maybe one over or one below. So don't let that take a major factor in giving out the range and bearing to your rifleman. As long as he's right next to you. That's why I told you guys to get right next to me. It's how close you got to be to your gunner to make sure you give him out at least a bearing or range that's at least 1 over, not 10 over. Alright. So, in terms of being a spotter. So you see a armor piece. So to give out your 3Ds. The description, then the direction, then the distance. So, you're going to call out the target. BMP. Bearing 137. Range 107. You gotta say these stuff very slowly. You can't say it too quick or else the rifleman will forget. So now I gave him what type of target it is, so he can distinguish between the two targets that might be out there. It might be a BTR or a BMP. I said BMP, so he found a BMP. Gave him the bearing distance just to so he can make sure which one I'm talking about. And now he knows which one it is. Then he'll say rocket prep. That means that he's reloaded, got his rocket system prepped to the range, and he's looking at the right target. Now, if you feel that as if your rifleman is not looking at the right target, or he may be confused, still looking for it, you can press your shift tilde key and it allows you to point. That way you help him out on which target you're trying to talk about, okay? So go ahead and press shift tilde key, see if you guys get that down packed. Are y'all good with that? Alright. Move on from there. Once he says rocket prep, he's going to say clear back blast. It's your job to look behind him. And one of the reasons why he doesn't have time to look behind his back blast. He has to make sure that his eyes is stuck towards the target. So he has to keep his eyes on the prize. If he looks away, the target might be gone. And both of you are checking his back blast. So he has to make sure that you got to make sure that you look behind his back blast. So you're going to turn around, look behind his back blast, and make sure no one's behind it. So the cone of the back blast may be right here, right here, right here. Which we can devastately down the person. Or even kill him. It all depends. So you're going to look behind him. If his back blast is not clear, you're going to say back blast not clear. Then he's going to say it again, this time as an order. Clear back blast. If someone's still behind that back blast and did not listen to that, you just give him a direct order to get out that back blast. So if it's if the first sergeant, you'll say, first sergeant, you're in the back blast, get out of the way. Don't be too scared to say it to him. If it's not clear, you tell him it's not clear, he has to go away to launch a rocket no matter what. You already gave the person that fair chance the first time. And then when he says rocket, 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 you're going to take off, put your binoculars back in your respective spot, and you're going to pull out your rifle. Because as soon as that rocket hits the armor piece starts clicking off, the crew will dismount. And they will immediately gauge you. So you got to be ready to engage them. Because your rifleman would not be ready for that. Any questions with being the spotter?
No questions, sir.
Alright, let's go and pull out our rocket. At no time, do not launch your rocket. As I probably shouldn't have you guys pulling your rocket as you accidentally throw a grenade by mistake. Do not launch your rocket. Alright, so your spotter set BMP bearing 137, range 107. So I'm looking for BMP. To get my range, I can press my compass key, which is my K key. Is everyone pressing that? Do you see everything? Alright, so he said 137, so 137 somewhere at that BMP. Once I found the bearing, I'm going to just go ahead and reload my rocket, or in other words, load my rocket because you can't reload it. So you're going to press your Romeo key. Loads your rocket up. You're going to press the page up key to range it up, page down to range it down. He said the range was 107, so I'm going to range it to 100 as the all-in goes up by increments of 50 meters. So 100 is the closest one. Then I'm going to look down my sights. I'm going to go ahead and press the / button, which is above my 8 key on my numpad, to open my sights better. So go ahead and press that. Alright, you got that, Grill? Alright.
Brackets on.
Novikov, don't see it open just yet. Press your / key. That's above your 8 key. On your numpad. Right next to your numlock key. On your star key. If that doesn't work, press your control key and your / key. I should also do it as well. If that doesn't work for you. Or press your control key and your / key above your 8 key on your numpad. Does that work?
Yeah, for some reason I'm having a little technical problem here. Looks like things are frozen up.
Alright, but don't worry about it then. Alright, once all this set and done, you got your eyes on the target, and if you need to open up your sights, you just did it so. You go ahead and tell them your rocket is prepped, and then you're going to say what?
Clear back blast.
Clear back blast. Are you going to look behind your back blast? Or look behind you?
Negative.
You let your spotter do it. You're going to wait till he says your back blast is clear. If it's not clear, you're going to say it again. Clear back blast. If it says it's not clear, I'm going to launch a rocket no matter what. Once he says it's clear, or you went your second chance and still not clear or whatever, you wait about 2 or 3 seconds. Then you're going to say rocket, rocket, rocket. That's if somebody was already behind your back blast. If you had to say it 2 times, you're going to say rocket, rocket, rocket and make sure no one runs behind you. Or you can just say rocket 1 time if you already said clear back blast once. Let's say rocket, you can wait a hot second, then you're going to launch your rocket at the armor piece. Then you're going to drop your H4 back on the ground once it's been used. One thing I did forget to point out, the job of the spotter is to make sure he gets out a BDA as well. The battle damage assessment of the armor piece. Whether or not it was a good hit or a bad hit, and what's happening with the vehicle. Is it smoking off? That means if smoke's coming out of the vehicle. Is it cooking off? That means that the fire's coming out of the vehicle now. You hear the noise that the vehicle's making. And then whether or not it's catastrophic. The vehicle exploding, then it's catastrophic. Any questions?
Negative.
Alright,
No questions, sir.
you two will be paired up. One of you just decide to be the spotter, and one of you be the gunner. And then you rotate. Until you use the rockets, and you can have as many chances as you want by going to the box and grabbing another rocket from the box. And I'll make sure it has a rocket in there. If not, just go to the arsenal box over there. And then you guys do it for about 3 minutes or so, and then we'll close it from there, alright?
Cracking.
Alright, make sure on yellow when you say clear back blast. Right, say that. Alright guys, are free. And these armor pieces do not explode, so even if you hit it, don't expect it to blow up.
Did you say you had a question, Private Novico?
No questions.
Alright.
Alright, what you got?
Alright, Private Grown, I've got a BMP, bearing at 138, range 107, range 107 meters.
Give me a bearing again. Say again.
Bearing 138 degrees.
Cracking eyes on. Clear back blast.
Back blast clear.
Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Hey, that was don't worry about the BDA, as the armor piece does not, like I said, it is set to not explode after impact. As many hits you put onto it won't explode.
Alright.
Set events above, whatever.
Enemy armor, bearing 137, distance 106.
Eyes on, clear back blast.
Back blast is clear.
Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Dead.
Learn from the best. Oh, make sure your earplugs in. Probably. Yep. Forgot to tell you guys that.
Not seeing much around here, do you?
No, that's it.
Alright.
I got y'all.
Looks like that's all we got for rockets.
Yep. Stand by.
Cracking.
Oh, it's not working. All right. Let's see here. Should have done that. Probably should just made it a full arsenal, but whatever. Now I gotta wait. Alrighty then. Here we go. Clear. Alright, go ahead and check now. Camel net box. Give you one more try and then we'll close it there.
Alright, bino up. You Vic. You got?
Okay, Groot, I've got a BTR bearing. Bearing 120 degrees. Range 148.
Keeps pinging me, oh my god. Where's the Wi-Fi go? Oh.
Clear back blast.
Backblast clear.
Jesus Christ. That means that his push
Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Good hit.
Yep, his push dog key is Y.
Alright, load up. Eyes on hostile BTR. Bearing 143. Distance 167.
Eyes on. Clear backblast.
Negative back blast not clear. Back blast clear.
Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Good effect on target.
Alright, nice job guys. Alright, go ahead and rally over here. Let's go into the shade because I'm about to melt. No, y'all don't get shade. Stay right there. No, no, no. Back it up a little bit.
Oh man.
Alright, go ahead, Neil. Alright, yeah, sling your rifles. Alright, you guys get a lot of chances. You want to practice in HF4s and Liberation server. You guys could do that. Be our guests. And it's just that does conclude day one. We'll start off tomorrow with well, we may not start off with it, but we'll make sure we go over formations tomorrow. I mean, sorry, tomorrow, Thursday, for you guys, and then we'll continue on throughout the schedule. Moving on from there, Sergeant Margetta and I are your direct training commands. So you got any questions, make sure you direct it to us. But feel free to ask people in the unit if they have questions as well. Anything related to OSUT, bring it to us, as we're the only ones who have the most accurate answer that there is possible to it. Now, if you want to study for the quiz, you could ask people in the unit to help you study for the quiz. They can share their notes with you if you want to from there. It's all up to you. But anything else besides that, anything related to OSUT, bring it up to us. But if you have any other questions, you can ask anyone else if you do feel like to. Sergeant Marshall and I are always on TeamSpeak daily, so you can just message us if you need to, or on the forums. We respond very quick from that. Now, besides that point, if you guys wasn't told by your recruit training instructor, you are allowed to fill in for any trainings that there may be. So squad trainings and platoon trainings, you could fill in for that. If there are any fun ops, you can fill in for those as well. However, I don't think you can't fill in for are any task force level operations or field training exercises. You cannot fill in for those, such as the one that happens this Saturday evening and the one this Sunday. Besides that, you can fill in for anything you want to. Now, in addition to those as well, you guys got any questions for us?
No questions, Sergeant.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Whose air push talk is why you might want to change it because it keeps pinging Zeus. Or wherever push talk, wherever key it is to go on Zeus, because I keep getting pinged every time. So try to change that to something that may be very adequate for you to use if you can. If no further questions, Marjorie, you got any comment?
Negative. Y'all did good. Just keep up the good work, and day 4 will be easy. I'm pretty sure we forgot to say, but day 4 not only is an FTX, but at the end is an exam. Well, it's more of a open book test. You'll be asked some questions, and depending on how well notes you've been taken is how easy it's going to be. So just take good notes, ask questions, don't assume anything, and
we will be honest with you, we have failed some people. Some people have recycled, and most recently some people have been recycled as well, so that's why it's very crucial to make sure that you take, you said, like Sergeant Margiotta said, it's an easy test, which I don't get people could fail it sometimes, but there are sometimes we will throw out a hard question for you guys if we just feel deemed necessary to do so. So, make sure you study. It shouldn't be that hard to take it. Anything else, Sergeant Margiotta?
Yep, that's all I have.
Okay. Alright, everything else, you guys are dismissed. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Please make sure you come on time on Thursday. You're in channel 15 to 30 minutes, and then you guys know on time means 15 to 30 minutes before start time, and early if you're an hour on before start time. If you're going to be late or you can't make it, make sure you message us. That way we know who to expect and when we should wait for you to hop on, alright?
Understood.
Back and talk.
Alright. Yep, you guys are free and dismissed to go. I am doing a little, it's not a fun out, but we're just doing a little game night, so you guys want to do that in my channel. We will doing that with my whole squad. And hopefully other people who aren't busy will come in and join that, but we're going to go on some King of the Hill servers, flood it up, and start trolling. But we're not trolling though, literally trolling, but we're just trying to have some fun. Alright, you guys free to disconnect from server. I gotta clean this up.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Paperwork's done.
Say again?
And paperwork's done.
Okay, copy.
Yep. Yeah, have a good night, gentlemen.
Yep, me too.
User left your channel.
McCoy, did you get it? Oh, McCoy can't hear me.
User disconnected
Okay,
from
cool.
your
All
channel.
right, good. You got it, right? So I want to log off if you don't got it, McCoy. I'm assuming so. Board. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Fortunately, I'll let you know that it is the end of OSUT. And see you guys on Thursday. I actually might be streaming today. You never know if my squad actually fully commits and stays on. But till then, talk to you guys later.